Hello. You guys, this topic always makes me so sad because I mentioned it in the last video, the video before. I think one of the worst things you can do to a person is to talk behind their back. I just think it's not nice. It's always broken my heart. Any kind of movie, book, anything where you see that happening and I just think it's really, really sad. The person's not there to defend themselves, and I feel that I want you to understand that the smearing campaign that the narcissist implores upon you when they're talking behind your back to everyone who will listen, including your own people, that is their effort to destroy you. I don't want to make it any bones about, I don't want to try to say it any complicated way. That is their effort to destroy you. And we talked last week about that mask falling off, and we talked last week about devaluing that process. When you get through all of that, and you're at the very, very end of the very, very end, and there's been 14 Hoovers and 18 back and forths, and now you're at the very, 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 very end of the end of the end, and maybe you're in no contact, and you've decided, I'm not even going to talk to them anymore. You will get wind of them talking about you, because now they're at their wits' end. Now, I told you before, the smear campaign starts when they first meet you. They'll look around and they'll see who in your circle might be susceptible to a joke about you, to them, hey, how you doing? Like they come over and they make a joke and it starts that way, or they open up the conversation for them to then share something. Maybe they saw you on a bad day once, and all of a sudden now the narcissist has them thinking about that, and boom, they go, you know, she said this the other day. She did say that's true, yeah. And the narcissist goes, I'm telling you, they can be a real, and they start talking about you bad, and that's a smear campaign. They're garnering that person's support. They're bringing them over to their favor. Meanwhile, you've never said anything negative about the narcissist. But the person that the narcissist is bending the ear, they're not even thinking that way, because the narcissist comes in real cunning-like, real charming, buddies, have a beer, have a shot, let's dance, but before you know it, they're like best friends with your best friend, or they're best friends with your family member, or they're, you know what I mean, and they're, okay, so now they're under their wing. Well, throughout the relationship, they're going to be the person they bond with, joke with, go over to. Then you break up, they're going to be the person they call and try to get on their side. And then when you're deep into the stages of, say, you don't any longer talk, you're not even talking about the narcissist anymore. Anytime the narcissist can, anytime they're going to talk about you. And trying to destroy you is because they can't take blame for anything that happened. So the only way that they can explain away the relationship being blown up is to point fingers at you and say, see how she can be? Oh yeah, let me just tell you what she did once. Oh, let me tell you why, you wonder why we broke up? Let me tell you why we don't talk anymore. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what happened. And now somebody's getting the narcissist side. You don't even know they're talking about you. You're not there to go, whoa, that's not what happened. And unfortunately, they can bend the ear sometimes, and it can be very painful. It can be very painful. If I ever heard something about somebody and the person wasn't there, I would say, well, wait a minute, that's your account. I kind of want to hear what the other person has to say. And then if you want me to mediate and have an opinion, I'll state it. But they always say there's 3 sides to every story. His, hers, the truth. Or his, the truth. Or hers, the truth. Right? Everyone has their own point of view. And then there's something in the middle is usually the truth. I don't go around bad-mouthing people. But I know there are people that go around bad-mouthing me. So I have to look and see and wonder, what do they tell that person? Oh, great. What are they making that person think about me? Oh, great. And it hurts. It gets under my skin. Now, I don't react anymore. Because I told you before, narcissists can be in your life. It's not just an ex-narcissist that can smear you. It could be a friend, a family member, a business partner. And narcissists are in all forms in your life. Any role they could be playing, right? So when they're doing that, it is really hurtful. And you wonder, but all I can say is, hopefully, I hold out hope that if there's anyone whose ear a narcissist has bent, maybe one day they will realize, you know what? But I've never heard a word from Renee about them. Like, to me, that would speak volumes. My mother always said, if somebody is talking about you behind their back, if somebody's talking about anybody behind their back, they're talking about you behind yours. You're either that type of person or you're not, to talk about people. But I don't think everyone knows that lesson. And I don't want you to get frustrated. But I know it can be very frustrating. Because you're looking at people, say it's a family gathering, and you have a family narcissist. And you're like wondering, okay, who did they corner this time to tell something about me that's not true? And you don't want to cause any trouble, so you're not saying anything. If you've never ever given your side of why you don't talk to that family member, you've never even talked behind their back to anybody. But in they come, and they're going to do it to you. It's hurtful. I can't even lie. But you don't have to let it to destroy you. That's what they're after. They want to put you off your game. They want to make you maybe not come around. They want to make you so uncomfortable that you think you don't belong. They want to make you wonder who's stabbing you in the back. I say just wait, because there are many times that when that happens, the person with whom they're smearing you ends up seeing the truth of the narcissist themselves and finds their way back to you. And I always said, if somebody knocks on my door, hat in hand, I'll listen, you know. But it can be painful when somebody who you have a relationship with suddenly is being spoken to bad about you, and you wonder, well, why wouldn't they just stand up for you? Why wouldn't a narcissist who's charming somebody and manipulating them is a very powerful tool. They're manipulators, they're cunning, they're charming, they're love bombing the person that they're smearing you to. Well, you've always been such a good friend. You're such a good person to her. You're such a good person to her. I just thought I would tell you out of concern. You know, she seems like a wreck. Is she all right? She seems like anxious. You know, I'm just, like, they'll come at it very clever, very cunning, but it'll leave the person looking at you weird. They look at you weird, and you know it, and you feel it, and you know something was said, and you can't prove it. It's a very frustrating process. And I just want you to know I understand it. I do understand it. And I want you to understand that it is the narcissist trying to destroy you. They don't want you to have any credibility, so that if you do decide to open your mouth, they could be bending the ear of your cousin, friend, business partner. Again, it could be anybody. They could be bending the ear for a year before you even realize, well, they've established a connection with this person. So they're going to believe what they say based on the connection they've now carefully established with this person, so they can smear you. And I always say to myself, how can somebody not see it when somebody's blatantly talking about somebody else? I've had it happen, and I'd be like, that's not right, you guys. That person's not here. Don't say that. You don't know what goes on between two people. And I don't know if I can trust your point of view if you're telling me about a fight you had with somebody. The somebody's not here. Of course you're going to give me your side, which could be a lie. And many times they're bold-faced lies. I understand your frustration. I really do. And all I can tell you is it's very important to try to rise above. And I started to mention, but I didn't finish. I've at least learned not to react. I don't try to say, get in the middle of it if I think it's going on. I don't. But it's a trigger. It makes you feel, they say people can have PTSD from a relationship with a narcissist. I don't think I have that, but I do have triggers inside, and I'll be like, you know, you think, oh, I see somebody. I wonder if they're triangulating me, or I wonder if they're smearing me right now. I wonder if they're, It can happen. It can happen perpetually with certain people that remain in your circle that you can't avoid. And you have to rise above. I know that's a cliche. I know it. It bothers me too. But unfortunately, the best you can do is rise above, keep peace around you, in your space, keep your space peaceful. And if anyone ever does have a question for you, you could say, if you ever really want to know what's happened, let's sit down and I'll tell you. Not at this event, but I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'm an open book. I just really don't like to talk bad about people, but sure, I'll defend my position. Sometimes they don't even do that, though, and you don't even know which ones they're smearing you with. A lot of you do, and I've talked to you. You'll say, oh, I can tell this friend, blah, blah, blah. They did. Let them go. If they do decide and do learn that the narcissist is bad and they end up back in your life and they explain away themselves and they apologize, then okay. The narcissist can be, like I said, very cunning, and they can encapture somebody, just like they encaptured you. Love bombing is a very powerful tool. So I just wanted to mention this. I want you guys, so next one we're going to talk about the flying monkeys they get. The ones that go with the narcissist. That's tough.